Thank you for checking out another episode of EC Convos, the place to have cool conversations with cool people. Of course, I am your host, Eric, and I truly appreciate you for checking us out. No matter where you're tuning into this, don't forget to comment and subscribe because whether it be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any other major podcasting platform, that little notion does go a long way in helping us grow and become visible to the public. Oh, and don't forget to leave us a tip by clicking the link in the show notes at the bottom, as it helps keep the lights on also and keeps the conversations going. Now, I will say this: there is a word that is often overlooked but extremely necessary when it comes to overcoming obstacles. You want to guess what it is? No, it's not motivation and it's not focus, although those words are very important. It's resilience. So, the definition of resilience is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. It's the making of the lemonade whenever life gives you lemons. It's the drive to keep you going, no matter the circumstances, because you feel the need to make a difference for yourself and for others. And that pretty much embodies my next guest, Helinka Carr. She is the owner of Unspoken Rosebud, a company dedicated to assisting those needing help with a stoma or an ostomy. She also sells lingerie on her website, unspokenrosebud.com, for women who want to feel confident and sexy. Because, like she said, it's about empowerment, self expression, and rewriting the narrative surrounding ostomy and stoma care. Yo, I was really excited to speak to Halinka because I felt her story was a unique and a fascinating one. And as I said before, that's what EC Convos is all about, speaking with people I normally wouldn't even cross paths with. But as I also said before, I'm glad I did because she truly is the definition of resilience and amazement. But hey, don't take my word for it. So sit back, listen, and enjoy this amazing and glowing conversation with Halinka Carr. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have so many questions. I do.
Go for it.
you
Go
know,
for it.
yeah, I do because when I went to your website and I took a look at it and the story, which you've kind of already given me that your story, um, it's just so fascinating. And first of all, let me say this: the garments or the lingerie are really really nice. They're really nice, and for you to use that as an opportunity to help people feel more confident about the situation or the circumstances they may be in, it is absolutely amazing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I do want to talk more to you, so tell me, who are you, Miss Helinka?
I'm Helinka Carr. I'm the owner of Unspoken Rosebud, and I was diagnosed with bowel 2013. Um, had the first surgeries, had the reversal, had the stoma removed, but then after 3 years of hell, I had a second stoma put in, and that's when I started looking for pretty lingerie, that cover the back nicely, that are just be pretty. And it just wasn't anything out there that just floated my boat really. But like I say, the most important thing for me is breaking down the stigmas of living with a stoma or an ostomy, because it's at the end of the day, it's not a sexy thing to talk about, is it? Having this bag stuck to your tummy that's got poo in it.
Right, right. Well, I mean, you're kind of right about that. Like when the idea of it is like, okay, that's not really sexy or anything like that. But again, with all of the lingerie that you came out with, which again I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just so excited to talk about that part of it because I want to know your mindset behind it. But you're absolutely right though. I mean, I think, given the circumstances, you're facing bowel cancer, you said at 13.
No, December. Oh God, no, it wasn't. It was 2013.
Oh, 2013. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And so facing that, and here we are. What is it? 13 years later, still
yeah.
rocking and rolling. And still doing things that you love to do and stuff. So, um, tell me, what do you do on a daily basis? What do you do?
I'm on grammar duty for school runs now. That's just a new added to my life. Um, Obviously, a mum, wife, run a house, run a business, and just whatever gets thrown at you on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, yeah,
And like I say, I've got to take each day as it comes because with therapy that I've had, you can have low days, low energy days, and that's why you've got to schedule things to make sure you've got, like I say, I've got to get my grandson to school, so I've got to make sure I've got the energy for that.
right. And you said a couple of things you mentioned earlier when you said that you have to schedule things. Do you find sometimes your schedule is a little bit more overwhelming than other days, or do you pretty much have a structured schedule now where everything is this is what it is, no exceptions?
I need to get to that level of having this structure full in because um, I don't want my business to slide. Um, and it's important to support people. It's not a nice topic to talk about, but we it needs to be spoken about. We need to encourage each other to live the best life we can because there's a lot of people out there who have this bag stuck on the tummy and just stop life. And it's like you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you can't lose that. How was how was the adjustment, first of all, when you first realized this is something that you're going to have to live with permanently? My assumption is right. My thought is
Yeah.
permanently. How was the thought process behind it? W- it having to now face this basically for permanently.
Yeah. With the first stoma that I had, absolutely hated it. The surgeon really had to talk me into having this one put on. But he said that's the only way my bowel's going to heal to make sure that I recover quick. So I accepted that, had the reversal, but due to the radiotherapy, it damaged my bowel, so I had no control over it.
Mm,
So when the second one come along, it was a relief because then I could go out the house. I wasn't confined to the bathroom. Um, and be more spontaneous. You couldn't do that before.
right.
It was hard. So it's a happy thing that it's happened. It's still hard to adjust to because you've got to put some planning into it at first. But once you adjust, life's good.
It gets better. How long
Yeah.
did it take for you to after you received the second one? How long did it take for you to fully adjust to this new lifestyle that you have?
Well, to be honest, for the first 2 years, I was building up my business, learning how to run a business, what products I needed, how to make products I needed. So I didn't really think a lot about adjusting. It wasn't until the business was up and running and working, then things started to sort of creep in.
Hmm.
It's like the emotional side of can people see it? Can people smell it? Can they hear it? And all that kind of thing. But more when you're going out more. And it's like you can't let that stop you. You have to make those emotional and mental adjustments.
Yeah. Wow.
It's I'm a clinical hypnotherapist as well, so I have got some tools to help me through. So I did use those.
I You mentioned that as well. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about that. The clinical it's a clinical hypnotherapist, right? I am I am pretty naive when it comes to certain things, and I am naive to that. So can you break down what exactly that is?
Right, okay. So, with a clinical hypnotherapist, we deal with more of the medical side of people's, not just like stage hypnotherapists that you see, which gets you to do unusual things, but it's dealing with the subconscious mind. That's the most powerful thing you've got within you as your tool to heal. And it's also looking at it's not a case of anybody taking over your brain. It's just maybe reprogramming it, but and that's obviously always to safeguard you throughout all and everything that happens. And it's just reprogramming, rebooting it is the best way to describe it, to be honest.
Right. Okay. So with that, with becoming a clinical hypnotherapist, did it take a long time for you to become certified, or was it something you immediately jumped in after your surgery, or was it something you had already been planning on doing prior to?
To be honest, no, I didn't plan to do it. But within the 3 years where I couldn't work
Hmm.
from the reversal to the second stoma, I thought I needed to learn something. And a friend was doing this, started this course. So I said, right, come on, let's go and do it. But I've worked in health and social care for what, 25, 30 years. So I'm used to talking to people and helping them to adjust to life. And what this clinical hypnotherapist course did, it gave me more structure. So what I had been doing for all those years, just give me more of a better understanding of why I did what I did do and reframing. And with hypnotherapist, you're constantly learning. You never stop because that was something else to learn.
Really? I mean, it's so fascinating how, because okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's so fascinating to hear your resilience and to hear your story, because you did not let this one thing, as you said, you were down for like 2 or 3 years, and you, in between those 2 or 3 years, you had to figure out, okay, what next. And a lot of times people would, with that type of adjustment, they would say, you know what, let me just live out the rest of my days and do whatever. But you were more like, no, let me figure out a better way of being able to cope with this and to deal with this, and not only that, but also help other people in the process, right?
Yeah, very much.
So that is what's fascinating to me, because a lot of people would have, my thought is, a lot of people would shake their head to it and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm just gonna live out, my good days or whatever, and go from there. But not only did you do that, but you've also created businesses. You created an amazing business, to help people to try and be feel better about themselves, because you're right, a lot of it has to do with the mental, right? I would, I guess it's safe to say the majority of it has to do with more of a mental, right?
It's the mental and the emotional side because, like we said before, it's not who talks about poo.
Right. Right.
Normally, nobody would talk about it. So why would you want to talk about it when you've got a different system that deals with yours? And there's a lot of people, like you said, that do throw their hands up and go, you know, the why live? And there's me ex-daughter-in-law. She works in the community, and she goes to people to change their stoma bags and whatever else.
Hmm.
And there's a few patients she's had will never ever look at or never touch, never change. They just let it just get a mess till she comes in, and and it's like, why should they live like that?
Wow.
It's not it's not fair.
No, it's not. It's not, as you said, because But again, that goes back to the entire mentality of it all. You know, you have to allow yourself to make the adjustment. And that's with life as a whole. Like anytime something happens to you, I always feel that you have to allow yourself to, you have to, I mean, there's a time to grieve or a time to say, you know what, okay, I'm sad, I'm pissed, I'm upset, I'm hurt, all of these different emotions, right? And then now, what next? So it's that is probably one of the most challenging things that a lot of people deal with, and not as something as you know not as something similar to what you're dealing with, but just people with with depression, with severe forms of depression, with severe forms of anxiety. They still, they the will to live still needs to be there. So how do you do you talk to anyone else? Oh, well, besides people within within the community that has the stomas and the ostomy bags, do you talk to anyone else outside of that? Like, do you help with depression because you are a clinical hypnotherapist? Do you still talk to people who are depressed or people who have anxiety, or is it just for the community that you have?
If people approach me and say I'm suffering with anxiety or depression, I'm not going to turn people away because if they've obviously seen how I present myself, how I say myself, I'm honest, I'm straight up front. I'm not, I don't go around the houses to try and say this is what we need to be doing. It's like straight to the point. There's no, so if the people have sought me out, then I'm not going to turn them away.
Okay,
That's
but
not fair.
right, but it's not something that you is it something that you advertise to you kind of broadly advertise on like on your website, on your
No,
media? Okay, okay,
no.
okay. It's and it's fine. I mean, that's a good thing too, because sometimes you need your own peace of mind, because I know being a therapist sometimes can be draining as well. But
Can be. I think what there's so much support out there. What I felt was we needed something that was specific for people with storms and ostomas because you can get a lot of help, generic help there, but how do they really understand what it's like to live with this and to understand that you're allowed to grieve the PTSD, the diagnosis, or to actually waking up with a bag on the side of you? People don't think about that and don't look at it. They just look at the anxiety, the depression, not the full package.
right, I saw a video yesterday um, that kind of falls in line with what you said just now. It was a video of a guy talking about how he know well it was a post that somebody put about being in the airport, and they were going through security checkpoint. They had two kids, the husband and two kids. So the husband was able to go through the security checkpoint just fine, but the lady was having a panic attack because she couldn't for some reason get the um the baby seat. She couldn't close the baby seat enough to be able to kind of put it on the conveyor belt to push it through, and she started having a panic attack. And somebody made the mention, it wasn't really the anxiety of it was more the anxiety of what's going on in her head, and her being judged by other people. She felt that she may have been judged by other people versus people actually judging her. And so that kind of falls in line with what you said just now. Like, you're there to help people deal with the feeling of being judged by other people, because sometimes, like you said, sometimes it may be visible, sometimes it may smell, sometimes, you may be fatigued and things like that. So do you think a lot of it has to do with more, well, you said that a lot of it may have to
Can.
do with more of your mental, and again, the fear of what other people may be saying or what may be doing, right?
And how to talk about it as well.
Yeah.
It's such a, like we said before, it's not a topic readily spoken about, is it? So it's that building their confidence up and they're having the right to say things because you might have gone through an illness, for many years, and then all of a sudden you've got the stoma, and you're meant to be happy because it stops the bowel being a pain in the neck. It
Hmm.
stops the pain. It stops the humiliation of not being able to go out. But people then just assume that's the answer to everything, and it's not. It's the start. It's then adjusting and making people aware how they you need that support.
Right. Yeah, and you really do need support like that because again, it is a life changing event, and this is something that
Mhm.
that will be with you for the rest, for long extended periods of your life. So I get that 100%, and I'm so happy to meet someone who is an advocate for it and who's who's who is definitely trying to remove the stigma of
Mhm.
this with people, living with this condition or living with this circumstance. I applaud you. I really do.
Thank you.
Because I know you're out here doing the work. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, I do want to ask you another question though.
Go on then.
What do you love to do outside of all of the outside of the business, outside of taking care of your grandkids, and making sure they go to school and everything, your normal job, not normal 9 to 5. What do you love to do?
Outside walking,
Mm-hmm.
nature.
Nature.
Um, it just grounds you so much. People just overlook it. Obviously, when the weather's nicer, the gardening's great as well. It's more being true to yourself. I think that's so important as well. So if you want that time out, you just go do it. I mean, I love to go to the theatre as well, so it's not all outside
Right.
and doing. And I love to learn, always learning.
That's the beautiful part about all of this is always willing to learn something new. How is the weather out there? You're in the UK. Are you in London right now? Or are you in
No, we're in West Yorkshire,
West? Okay. How
higher up,
how is the weather out there?
groggy, horrible. It's like misty and a bit drizzly.
Oh, it is.
So yeah.
I,
How's your weather?
well, right now I am in Dallas, Texas. So the weather right now is actually really cold, but the sun is out. So it's I think it's 20. What is it? It's 28 degrees right now. Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is freezing. And out here, we're not used to it. In Dallas, particularly in Dallas, the weather is extremely bipolar. Like one day, I'll give you an example. Like today, it is 28 degrees, but by the end of the week, I think it's going to be in the low 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, in the wintertime, So it's or the high 70s, I think, is what is expected to be. It's insane here. Like the weather is completely unpredictable. But I heard in the UK, it's pretty consistent. Like sometimes it can get like overcast or dreary or whatever, and it rains a lot out there. Is that true?
We had a lovely summer.
Really?
It was dead, yeah. I think about 4 months with no rain.
Oh wow.
Which, yeah, so we're not always wet.
I want to come out there. Like I really want to come out there and just kind of hang out and have a blast. So be on the lookout. I may be reaching out to you if my wife and I come out there. So,
Absolutely. So,
but
yeah.
um, but no, I mean this is great. I think you know just being able to be outside with nature, especially being outside with nature, because I am a firm believer in something called grounding. I don't know if you're
Mhm.
familiar with that or not. Where
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a huge advocate of grounding, just going outside, letting your bare feet hit the grass, and just becoming one with nature, and just enjoying the sunshine. You know, so
But even enjoying the rain,
yeah,
smells best.
yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. Like it is best. just again being outside, just it just makes you feel better, and also it's also great for healing as well too. You know.
Yeah. Also, if you've got a dog with you, people will talk to you. Just, it's really daft, really, to be honest.
Hmm.
But that helps you then heal as well because you're being seen and heard as a person, not as a patient.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, and that's all we want is to be seen and heard. Whether you're healthy whole, whether you have a condition or an illness, you just want to be seen and heard. So um that brings me to your luggage, your lingerie line, because
Okay.
that is one of the reasons why you created this line, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so talk to me a little bit about your line, unspoken rosebud.
Yeah. The reason why we called it unspoken rosebud because one, we don't talk about it, and a stoma and ostomy looks like a rosebud, so it just made sense to put the names together. But when I recovered from the second stoma, I looked for laundry that would be just lovely, and I found a lot of medical model stuff, which is important and needed, but by hell, it's horrible, absolutely horrible stuff. It's not pretty, it's not elegant, but what I do create, like I say, I've got two main different styles where I've got the lace in the middle, so that looks more sexy, or I've got the ones with cotton jersey, which has lace top and bottom, so it just adds that little bit of elegance to it. And it's surprising how many people come back to me and said how it's really boosts the confidence up. That it gets them to forget that they have this, and they can comfortably, wear a nice dress and such on top and not worry about it.
It looks really, really good. Like you have several different options on there on the website. Um, have you seen a lot of people has a lot of people purchased? You've been doing this for over a decade now, I would think, right? Or at least a decade.
Nope,
How long have you been doing
nope.
this?
It's 6 years
Oh,
this
six
year
years. Okay, okay. So
because there's so much planning into it and learning and business things and no,
yeah, it can be overwhelming sometimes. I can understand that, having a business. And but you've seen some success with it though, right? People reaching out to
yeah,
you. Yeah, that's amazing.
right, yeah. And people will come to me and say, "I like your lace, but I don't want the cotton on top and bottom." So then I buy a, a longer lace so they can just have a lace finish. Or they'll come to me and say, "Right, I'm a bride. I'm going to be a bride. What can you make for me instead?" So I can feel and include the stoma and ostomy. I'm open to suggestions and such for people because it's the best story I've had. I had a lady, she was in her late 70s. She said to me, "Can you get this piece to me now?" And I said, she was in the UK, so it was quite quick. I said, "Yeah, yeah, why?" She says, "Well," she says, "I've not had a relationship for a couple of years because my husband," she says, "but I'm meeting up with this guy at the weekend and we're going to have some fun." And I thought, credit to you, love.
Wow.
Absolute.
So a lot of the so are a lot of the pieces made to order, or you already have inventory?
No, I make to order.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better.
So it's all personal.
Exactly. Exactly. You're giving them that personal touch. And how long does it take to from purchase to shipment? How long does it take to make it?
I give myself about 10 days because just like say how some days I can wake up and be full of energy, and other days I'm a little bit flat.
Hmm.
But as soon as they're coming in, I like to get them out as quick as I can because it's important for people to have them.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It is important because obviously, if they paid their hard-earned money to purchase it, you definitely want to get it to them as quickly as possible. I agree with that. I
Yeah,
love
and
this.
it boosts the confidence. I mean, how? wonderful is that?
Right. Because that's what it's really all about, Miss Helinka, is building their confidence, getting them back to normal again or making them feel normal again. Um, which, as we said before, it sometimes can take a little bit of time to do that after you've, grieved and, you've went through the anxiety, the fear and stuff like that, and the self-doubt and things. But eventually, you want to get them back comfortable again and get them and make them feel sexy again. So
Yes.
that is amazing. I love everything about this, I really do. I really do.
Well, thank you.
So um now I do have one question to ask you though, because I ask everyone this question.
Okay.
What grinds your gears? What pisses you off? What makes you upset? What what gets to you?
People not living the best life they possibly can. No matter what's thrown at us, there always is a solution. There's always a way forward. It might be tiny, tiny steps at first, but there is a way forward. We're blessed to have this life. How many people would love to have this life? It's hard.
It is. It is. I mean, and well, first of all, I do agree with you. People not living their best life. I will be completely transparent. I am working on that now. I'm working on the feeling of living my best life because I don't know if you're into astrology, but I'm a Virgo, and oftentimes Virgos are they think too much. We overthink
Mm,
things, we second guess things, and it's not about me right now. But I just wanted to kind of give a little context. But
yeah.
I do understand people not living their best life, especially when they have the potential to live their best life, right? So and we're just wasting away. People are often, just wasting away doing mundane things or doing things that are very not basic, but very consistent or like just being robotic is what I meant to say. Being very mechanical.
Being a sheep.
Yeah, being a sheep. Right, right. So, no, I do agree with that because that is something that can definitely grind your gears. But
And don't compare yourself to anybody else. This is your life. You've got to decide what you're doing and what you're not doing, and just just do it.
yeah, yeah, just do it. I mean, that's what I've been trying to tell people. That's the reason for this podcast actually is because I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time now. Just talk to people who I normally wouldn't talk to, right? And just or no and what I mean by that is people who I would not have crossed paths with, or anything like that. But why not? Why not? Because everybody has a story. Why not just talk to people?
Absolutely.
So,
I love talking to people.
right. Right. Well, first of all, I will say that is one thing that's missing from society now is nobody is ice. The one thing that society is filled with now is isolation. Everyone,
Mm,
they don't want to talk to other people, or if they do talk to other people, it's not from a social setting. It's more through text messages or through email or things like that or whatever. Um, but there's no social interaction anymore. I consider this what you and I are doing, social interaction. Because again, I didn't know you prior to January. Now I know you, and now I feel like I have a connection with you.
yeah. What you need to do is get up to North England. We talk to anybody and everybody.
Really.
Yep. Um, if there's a homeless person on the street or something, I will always talk to them, and they will always talk to me. We're just talking up North England.
Yeah.
Really good at it.
That's great to have because here in the states, have you been to these states before? The United States?
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's what I will say is from anyone who's never came here, it is an amazing place to be. And I'm not just saying that simply because I live here, but it's an amazing place because it's so much culture here. Um, every every state in the United States of America is like it's like a different country because every
Yeah.
state operates the exact. every state operates differently. I mean, there are some states that kind of fall in line with with other major states or whatever. But Texas is one of these states where it's like we don't really follow the rules of anyone else. We kind of do our own thing. But it's a country. Like Texas's tagline is a whole nother country. Um, but truthfully, whenever you come to the United States, every state operates as a country, and it's amazing. It's really really cool. But I I do have to make my way up to North England. We do.
Definitely.
Yeah, we will. We will. And I'll definitely keep you in mind when we come up there because we need people to navigate us around town and stuff. So, um, all right. Now I did say I had three questions, but I actually want to add a fourth one into the mix.
Okay.
I promise you, it's not bad. It's not a terrible question. But for our listeners, if you had one thing you can recommend to them, whether it be a movie, a song, an album, a TV show, a book, a blog post, whatever. If you had one thing you can recommend to them, what would it be and why?
I know this didn't go down very well in America in the 50s, but War of the Worlds, absolutely love that.
Really?
That's my go. That's go to when I'm decorating or I've got to sit and really think hard about stuff. It's just to listen and let that wash over you. I know it scared the bejeebies out of the USA
Mm-hmm.
because they played little snippets of it in this news reels,
Mm-hmm.
and people actually genuinely thought that was happening.
Really? Yes, I agree. I remember that. So just for clarification, you're speaking about the original audio or the original radio show War of the Worlds, right?
No, I'm talking about the album, the original album.
Oh, the album War. Wait, there was an album for War of the Worlds?
Where the hell have you been, man?
What? I did not know that. I thought it was a radio
Jeff,
show that came out in the 50s.
no, not at all.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is it
It's
available
it's
on
been remixed. Yes,
it's
it
available on,
is.
on streaming sites?
Yes,
Okay.
there's two ways. There's one with Richard Burton and then one with Liam Nielsen.
Which I love Liam
It's
Neeson. I love him. Liam Neeson. I
oh,
love him. I did not
yeah,
know
but
that.
just to listen to that and just to sort of evaluate the power of the songs and the words and just let it wash over you.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not know that. I am going to start search. I am going to search for that once we get off this conversation. Once we finish this conversation.
Yeah, it's yeah, Jeff Wade.
It's called Fifth Wave.
No, Jeff Wade
Oh, Jeff Wade. Okay.
wrote it actually.
Okay. I am going to look for that once we get off the phone. Once we get off this conversation, I will look for that because I am a huge advocate for audio drama and audio and things, all things audio. I'm a huge advocate for that. So, and I love being able to kind of be immersed in something. And so I never knew that. I never knew that.
Every
Wow.
day's a school day.
Every day is a school day. You always learn something new, right? Thank you so
Definitely.
much, Miss Helinka. I really, really, really appreciate this conversation.
Thank you so much for contacting me and accepting me.
Yeah, no problem. So, where can everyone find you?
I am on Instagram, Facebook. My main shop is on Etsy, and then just generally on the website.
Okay. And I will post everything at the bottom of the show notes as well, so that way they can click and they can go directly to your links, to your social profile as well as your Etsy shop, um, and they can purchase and support.
If, but even if I just read the stuff that I do, the reels and posts and such, everything else in my blogs, and it's making them feeling better then result.
Oh, I love it. I love that. I love that. Oh, one more thing. You do ship to the
How
U.S.,
many
right?
questions?
I know, right? I know, so many questions. You do ship you ship worldwide, right? Correct?
I do. I
Okay.
do, yes.
Okay, just making sure that so we can, so the listeners, the people who do listen, they will know that they can actually purchase it from anywhere in the world. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Miss Helinka. I really appreciate this conversation. I really do.
No, thanks for the opportunity of breaking down the barriers
Yeah,
and getting rid of the stigma.
that's what we do. Breaking barriers one person at a time, right? So
Absolutely.
until the next time, y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening to another EC Convos, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace.